Let's go ahead and start in child's pose. So as I suggested, some of you are already there, and we are going to bring our toes together to touch, bring our knees out wide, and let our feet, let our belly drop between our knees. So just making your way into a very supported child's pose. Feet together, knees wide, press your hips back, bring your forehead to the mat. Now, just imagine that someone is pressing on your sacrum, pressing your hips back and down. And you feel your spine lengthen. And as you sink into this shape, relax and let go. Letting go of anything that's keeping you from being present on the mat in this moment right here. Setting your intention for practice today. Just holding your intention in your mind's eye and letting it go. Walk your hands over to the right as far as they'll go. So walking them off of the mat, shooting your hips back, relaxing your head down. Walking your hands back to center and then over to the left as far as they'll go. Connecting to your breath, the life force, the universal energy. Walking your hands back to center. Let's wave up into tabletop position, wrists underneath shoulders, knees underneath hips. On your inhalation, drop your belly, lift your heart, look up. Pull your belly button towards the ceiling, round your back, relax your head and neck. Moving in and out of cat-cow at your breath, at your pace. Coming back to tabletop position, tuck your toes, lift your hips, press back, downward facing dog. Coming high onto your toes, lift your hips, press your heels back and down, pedal your feet. Breathe your way in. Shake your head no, nod it yes. Maybe wiggle your behind around. Just wiggle around. Find your way into stillness in your downward facing dog. Float your right leg up towards the ceiling. Press out through your heel. Bend your knee, try to kick yourself in the behind. Lift your knee up higher. Now, bring your knee to your nose at the top of the mat. Hug it in, hold it there. Take it back and up. Bring your knee in, cross your midline, touch the outside of your left upper arm. Take it back and up. Bring your knee in, touch the outside of your right upper arm. Take it back and up. Draw your knee in, step through, high runner's lunge. So we're gonna stay up on the toes of the back foot. Front knee over top of your ankle. Find your balance, press into your feet, arms reach up. Core is engaged, belly lifted, breathe. Bring hands together at heart center. Twist to your right, left elbow, right thigh. Come back to center, hands come down on either side of your front foot. Step back to plank, hold your plank. Hug in towards your midline. Breathe your way in. Lower down, knees, chest, and chin, or chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing, take it back. Listen to your body. What's it asking for? You can always rest in child's pose. You can always choose to do something different. Lift your left leg up, reach high. Press out through your heel. Bend your knee, try to kick yourself in the behind as you lift your knee up a little higher. Draw your knee in, touch your knee to the nose at the top of the mat, hug it in, hold it there. Take it back and up. Bring your knee in, cross your midline, touch the outside of your right upper arm. Take it back and up. Bring your knee in, touch the outside of your left upper arm. Take it back and up. Draw your knee in, step through, high runner's lunge. We're gonna stay up on the toes of the back foot, front knee over top of your ankle, find your balance, arms lift. Finding a smooth and steady breath. Bring your hands together at heart center. Twist to your left, right elbow, left thigh. Come back to center. Hands come down on either side of your front foot. Step back to plank. Hold your plank. Lower down, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing. Relax your low back, lifting your knees up off the mat. Gaze to the right, gaze over your shoulder to the right. Come back to center. Gaze over your shoulder to the left. Come back to center. Knees come down. Press back, downward facing dog. Look forward between your hands. Walk your feet up to the top of the mat. Bring your hands to your shins. Press and lengthen forward. Fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, arms lift up, reach up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, arms lift up, reach up. Fold forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold, plant your hands, step or hop back to plank. Lower down, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. Float your left leg up towards the ceiling, reach high. Bring your knee in, we're gonna bring our foot halfway up the mat. So we're gonna bring our left foot halfway up the mat, turn the toes towards the left. Right wrist underneath the right shoulder. We're gonna turn onto the side of the right foot. So we're gonna begin to drop our hip down. Left hand on the left knee as we drop that hip down, finding length along the right side of the body. Keep lifting up. Lift the hip back up. And from here, you can try whatever works best for you. You can bring the left hand down, but we're gonna come into Vashisthasana, side plank on this right side. So reaching the left hand towards the ceiling as we lift our hips up. Now, you can drop the right knee down for a kickstand. You can begin to lift the left leg. Find what works best in your body. And then slowly bringing that foot down, bring the hand down, come back to plank, press back, downward facing dog. Float the right leg up towards the ceiling, press up through your heel. Draw the knee in, coming halfway up the mat, toes of the right foot towards the right side of the mat, left wrist underneath the left shoulder. We're coming onto the outside edge of the left foot as we drop the hips down. Lengthening through the left side of the body. Lifting the hips back up, coming to Vashisthasana, side plank on this side. Take your time getting in. Remember those variations. You can drop your left knee down, you can lift your right leg up. Breathe. Bring the foot down, bring the hand down, come back to plank, lower down, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing. Press your hips to your heels, come back to child's pose. Regroup, take a big deep breath in, let it out nice and slow. Another big deep breath in. Tuck your toes, lift your hips, downward facing dog. Press your heels back and down. Look forward between your hands, walk your feet up to the top of the mat. Bring your hands to your shins, lengthen forward. Fold Uttanasana. Bring your hands to your shins, press and lengthen forward. Fold. All right, so from here, we're gonna move into Padahasana. So we're gonna take our hands, palms face up. You can bend your knees as deeply as you need to. As you can see, I've got my knees bent pretty deep. I'm bringing my palms face up underneath my feet. I'm relaxing my head and neck forward. And I'm beginning to play with finding straighter legs. Wherever you are is exactly where you need to be. Releasing your hands, deep bend in your knees. Inhale, arms lift up, reach up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, arms sweep up, reach high. Sit back in chair. Bring your hands together at heart center. Tuck the tailbone under a little bit more as you sit back a little bit deeper. Twist to the left, right elbow, left thigh. Come back to center. Pause here. Left elbow, right thigh, twist to the other side. Come back to center. Fold Uttanasana. Look forward, lengthen, and fold. Plant your hands, step or hop back to plank. Now come down onto your forearms. Keep your core engaged, belly lifted. Breathe your way in. Now we're gonna move into dolphin. So keeping that core engaged, the belly lifted, keeping your fingers interlaced together at the top of the mat, really ground down through your forearms. Now you can bring your knees down and work here, or you can make your way into dolphin, slowly walking your toes up like downward facing dog, but with your arms on your forearms. Find that place of equanimity. Breathe. Now walking your feet back to forearm plank. Press back up to plank. And press back, downward facing dog. Float your right leg up towards the ceiling, reach high. Draw your knee in, step through, Virabhadrasana 1. Plant your back foot down, arms lift up, reach up. Connect with your breath, connect with your center. Open Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2. Straighten the front leg. Trikonasana, triangle on this side as you reach towards the top of the mat, and then bringing your hand down to a block, to your shin. Top arm lifts up, spiraling your chest open, looking up. Micro bend in the front knee. I'm pressing into my feet to find length through my spine. Press into your feet to lift up. Now bend your front knee, come back to Virabhadrasana 2. Now what we're gonna do is we're going to windmill the hands to the top of the mat. We're coming into a high runner's lunge. I want you to find your balance, and we're gonna move into Virabhadrasana 3, Warrior 3. So we're going to kind of launch ourselves by lifting up our back leg, then reaching our hands back like Superman, palms face down. It might take a minute to find your balance. Work on straightening your standing leg. Now, this hip has a tendency to try to lift up. Can you bring that hip down so that your sacrum is level? Looking for practice, not perfect. Dropping your hands forward, then drop your back arm back, Come back to Virabhadrasana 2, warrior 2. Palm the front hand face up, exalt your warrior, reach back. Windmill your hands to the top of the mat, step back to plank. Lower down, chaturanga or knees, chest, and chin. Upward facing and downward facing. Left leg lifts up, reach high. Draw your knee in, step through Virabhadrasana 1 on this side. Arms lift. Open to Virabhadrasana 2, warrior 2. Straighten your front leg, Trikonasana, triangle on this side as you reach forward. Top arm lifts up, micro bend in your front knee. Spiraling your chest open. Where can you find expansive energy? Return to that well. Press into your feet, arms lift up. Bend your front knee. Windmill your hands to the top of the mat. Now coming into that high runner's lunge, get ready to launch yourself. Virabhadrasana 3, lifting your back leg up. Finding equanimity. Pressing through your back foot. Toes of the back foot point down. Try to find length through the top of your head. Bringing your hands down, drop your right foot back, come back to Virabhadrasana 2. Palm of your front hand face up, exalt your warrior, reach back. Windmill your hands to the top of the mat, steps back to downward facing dog. Coming high up on your toes, lift your hips, press your heels back and down. Shake your head no, nod it yes. Now bringing your knees down, press your hips to your heels, but this time we're bringing our knees together. We're gonna fold directly over top of our legs. Drop your forehead to the mat. Walking your hands back. We're gonna shift our hips to one side, bring our legs forward, around in front of us. Navasana boat pose. Okay, so from here, we're gonna lengthen up through the crown of our head and we're gonna lift our legs so our shins are parallel to the ground. We can hang out with our hands behind our thighs. We can begin by reaching our arms forward, and then you might begin to straighten those legs up. Wherever you are is exactly where you need to be. Breathe. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. You got this, keep breathing. Let's sink our boats. Let's lower down and hover. So hovering the legs, hovering the upper body, core is engaged, breathe deep. Lift up. Can you lower down and hover? You got this. Lift up. All right, bring your feet down, lengthen through the top of your head. We're gonna reach our hands forward. We're gonna slowly come back onto our backs. One vertebra at a time, slowly coming down. Draw your knees in, lift your head, lift your tailbone, turn into a little ball. Exhale your head down, rock it out from side to side, rock it all out. Whew. Some days it just feels harder than other days, even if you're doing the exact same thing that you do all the time. Okay, because that's what yoga is. It's just the same postures, different combinations. All right, we're moving into yogi bicycles. So shins parallel to the mat, knees 90 degrees up from those hips, right? Bring your hands back behind your head. We're going to lift our head, lift our shoulder blades up off the mat. We're going to extend our right leg out to hover above the mat as we take our right elbow towards our left knee and switch. Go as fast as you'd like or as slow as you'd like. Listen to your body. What is it asking for? There's no right or wrong, slow or fast. It doesn't matter. It's kind of the way to do life too, right? Slow, fast, doesn't matter. What matters is if it works for you. What is your intention? Are you honoring your intention? Breathe. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, we're halfway there. 4, 3, 2, 1. Good work, yogis. Lift your head, lift your tailbone, turn into a little ball. Exhale your head back down. Rock out your sacrum. Woo! Rock it all out. Okay. So from here, we'll just do a little back bending. And this back bend, it's also a little heart opening, right? Bridge is also a little heart opening. So walk your heels back. I don't know about you, but I could use all the heart opening I can get. So we're gonna press into our heels. We're gonna hug our knees in towards the midline. We're gonna lift our hips up, coming up onto our shoulders. Can you lift up a little higher? Slowly coming down, slowly, slowly, slowly. All right, yogi's choice. This next one, bridge your wheel. Take it however you'd like. You can press into your feet, lift your hips up, coming into bridge, or press your hands back and lift up. I'm gonna hold this for 5 big breaths. Two more breaths. Slowly coming down. Draw your knees in one more time. Hug them in. Bringing your knees together. Open your arms out wide like a T. Let your knees fall to the right as you gently turn your head left. Surrender. Are you holding or clenching anywhere? If so, can you give your body little signals to let go? I know it sounds so much easier than it actually is, but maybe it is that simple. Just let go. Lifting your knees up to center. Let them fall over to the other side. Gently turn your head to the right. Look up towards the ceiling, draw your knees back to center, bring your feet down on the mat, extend your legs out. Arms come down at your sides, palms face open to receive. Do whatever you need to do to get as comfortable and cozy as possible. Beginning to relax into this shape. Today's meditation from Rolf Gates's book, Meditations from the Mat, starts with a quote from John Chan: "Do everything with a mind that has let go." Rolf says, "I rarely teach a class that doesn't include at least one student who is brand new to yoga. Working with beginners affords me an excellent opportunity to observe just what it is we bring to our mats. Despite wide age, gender, socioeconomic, cultural, and physical differences, we all carry some of the same baggage. Whether you are a dancer, a housewife, a grad student, a retired police officer, or an aerobics dropout, you will no doubt confront the same roadblocks to learning that I see students encounter every day: pride and fear. If you are new to yoga, chances are you are wrestling not only with the postures, but also with the judgments you pronounce on your efforts. But if you can make a commitment to be a little easier on yourself, I am certain you will enjoy your practice more. If not, you may soon find yourself making all sorts of excuses to avoid practicing altogether. It will become just too painful. When we opt out of experiences that challenge us, it's usually because our pride is in the way. And pride is really another word for fear. The fear of not being enough. Marlon Brando delivers this truth magnificently in Apocalypse Now, when, sweating in a nadir of spiritual bankruptcy, he tells his executioner, "It is our judgment that defeats us." We become our own executioners when we sit in judgment of our efforts. Only when we act without judgment can we truly flourish in our lives. Yoga means becoming one. As long as we stand apart in judgment, we sabotage the opportunity for connection and integration. That is yoga. So I encourage you, get into that canoe and ride with the river. Commit and don't look back. Before our bodies can open, they must first let go. The clenched and guarded muscles must relax, but the mind must let go first. Deepen your next inhalation. Take a big, deep breath in through your nose. Let it out. Taking another big, deep breath in through your nose. Let it out. Bringing small movements to your toes and to your fingers. And maybe moving your head from side to side. When you're ready, bend your knees, bring your feet to the mat. We will gently and carefully roll to the right side, pausing there for just a moment as we honor the transition out of the practice as much as we honor the practice itself. Slowly pushing yourself up to a nice, comfortable seated position, eyes closed, hands at heart center. So let's collectively join together for one loud Om, remembering that an Om is like an ah, o, sound. Om is said to be the vibration of the universe, the vibration of all things everywhere. When we Om, we are connecting to everything and everyone, ourselves, to one another that are present here, even across the US and in different time zones, and maybe even watching at different times. We're collectively connecting, because what the world needs most right now is more connection. So we'll connect with this Om, bringing your thumbs together at heart center. Take a big deep breath in. Yoga will teach you so much about yourself. It will help you become flexible in mind, in body, and in spirit. For that, I am truly and utterly grateful. Thank you so much for coming to practice today. Namaste. Good work, everyone.
Thank you. It was great.